live, and we're gonna go live, and we're gonna go live. Oh, hi everybody. Hey, it's Rob Booker here, best-selling author of blah, 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 and yada, yada, yada. Happy Thursday to you. It was the Bank of England's vote today. They voted to see if I would be remaining their favorite FX trader in the world. And Governor Carney also announced that he would be trading the trifecta system from now on, since they don't know anything about inflation and they can't do anything that I want them to do. In actual news, not fake news, I always think that term is very funny. In real news, boy, this has been a grind. I have a lot to talk to you about today. One of the most important sessions maybe that I've done in a long time. And I am just going through one of the most ridiculous, stupid grinds, like just tough times, just to get my account balance up above where I want it to be. And it's been a giant pain in the butt. Excuse my language. Like, I got so close to this mark that I've been focused on, and then I don't think I sabotaged myself or anything, but I just blew it, like, not badly. And it's a reminder of, along the way to success, there are these critical periods of everything just being basically terrible. So as you know, I like to show you my real account, what's really going on, the bad and the good. I actually like to show the bad more often than the good, because I don't think any of us learns anything substantial from just looking at the stuff that goes well. And also I know that the stuff that's going bad eventually turns out just fine. So here is a picture of my current, one of the trading accounts that I have. This is my international trade copy account. And so it's a $64,000 account. That's live, that's not a demo. I think you already probably knew that. So I shorted the US dollar Mexican peso. And that's currently down $1,489. Pain in the butt. This is no big deal. NBD. And the reason that's no big deal is that's a trade that I would take 100 times over again in exactly the same place and exactly for the same reasons. It was bearish divergent and a bunch of other stuff that we can look at. But it's a pain, and it's a pain. I don't like being in a situation where I'm holding on to something that I know I want to hold on to and that eventually is going to be absolutely perfectly fine. I don't like holding on to something. I just hate being in a bad trade. I hate it. And of course I can close it and reopen it later and all of those things, but this is just the grind. It's my trading system, it's my rules, it's the way things go. And it's a pain, and it's difficult, and boy would I like everything to be easy. And the lure of trading as a living, or for a living, and all of these trading books that are out there and all of these blowhard windbag YouTube podcasting educators like me, of course, want to convey implicitly or explicitly, not necessarily even with malice, we want to convey that you can do this and that it's possible. And then if anybody's brave enough to show you their live account, which is almost 0% of educators and people who do this, they're going to, most of the time, they're going to show you something that isn't working out. I mean, anybody that shows you constant wins is just a liar. So here's the trajectory of success. Here's the grind, which is the focus that I want to go through. And the grind toward success as a trader is the same grind toward a trend, a positive trend, that a financial instrument goes through. So you have a period of upward movement or positivity in life, or let's say in particular in trading. And so this is, upward movement, like beginner's luck when it comes to trading, right? So we've all experienced that beginner's luck and that feeling of super happiness that we're doing well and it's starting off and maybe this is easy and maybe this is doable and maybe I can accomplish great things, and maybe that windbag, blowhard trading educator who did a podcast, maybe that guy was telling the truth. Maybe I really can do this. And so there's that feeling of hopefulness. And then all of a sudden, there's this movement down. This reality sets in. And it's a real disappointing reality. It's a real bummer. It's that feeling of, oh, this is a lot more difficult than I expected that it was going to be. And that stupid windbag blowhard podcaster YouTuber guy, you know, the one with the really nice soft beard, and the guy's really happy, super good looking guy with the nice hair. Yeah, that guy made it look like it was going to be easy. That guy's a jerk. I hope that guy gets hit by a truck. And because now things are much more difficult, and we realize how problematic that is. And so lately I had a bunch of positive trades in my international trade copy account, like really good trades, $1,000, $1,000, $500, really good trades. And then all of a sudden I'm sitting here in this stupid $1,400 loss. Or in my smaller trading account, and I've set this really public goal for those of you that haven't heard yet. I started off with 500. I got it up to $1,999.65. 35 cents away from 2,000. And I'm growing this account, come hell or high water. No matter what, I'm growing this account to $10,000. No matter what. That's period. And I have said before on this show and repeatedly that the $2,000 mark is this interim goal. It's this, in order to get to the bigger goal, I've got to get to that smaller goal. And for every single person who has ever traded for a living or learned to trade for a living or done trading for a living, anybody who's ever done that has realized and found out that there's this medium-term goal on the way to the bigger goal. And if you can get over that one goal, if you can get over that one medium-term mark, everything else is easier from there. And most traders never make it over that initial goal. In the world of podcasting, most people never get through their 7th episode. My wife is now on episode, I'm embarrassed that I don't know, but it's around 20. And some of these episodes are just absolutely magnificent. I mean, way better than anything I ever produced when I was starting out as a podcaster. But most podcasters never get past episode 7. And if you can get past episode 7, usually your podcast will run for an extended length of time, a year, 2 years, or more indefinitely. You got to get over that first 7 episode hump. And so that grind, that's 7 episodes, is the downward movement, or that move that I made to get close to $2,000, and then I pulled back. And we're going to take a look at that account in just a moment. And then there's this, and this is the real pain. This is where the pain exists and the grind. This sideways movement where you're not making a lot of progress, but you're not making zero progress. And then you're making no progress. And then you're making backward movement. And then you make a little bit forward movement. And it's that back and forth grind. And it feels like, well, this isn't what I signed up for. This isn't what Alexander Elder's book, Come Into My Trading Bathroom, said that this was going to be like. He lied to me. that jerk lied to me. And then you feel like you've been duped. Only because there's no progress and it's sideways movement. It's the plateau, as George Leonard says in the book Mastery, wherever that book went. And boy, that's tough. And it's a real pain. And it's really disappointing. And it hurt. Like, I'm going through this right now. Let's take a look at this account. Let's just look at it. So this is my account that was 35 cents away from 2,000. And now it's at $116 away from 2,000. And you can't really see that super well. But, I'll show you all my live accounts forever. I will do that. I have nothing to hide from you. The whole purpose of me doing any of this stuff is that you can learn from my mistakes in my journey. I don't care if you buy anything from me. I care if you are successful. I know nobody believes that, and I know there's like 3 of you that think I'm telling the truth, but I don't care anymore. I love you, and this is my mission in life. This is it. This is what I do. So after this grind, and I've been through this now in business, podcasting, YouTube. It took me 7 years to get 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. Took me 5 more years to get to 5,000 subscribers, and then it took me like 7 months to get to 15,000 subscribers. So everything starts to rapidly improve once you get over like this first hump. I shared the wrong screen and picture in picture. All right, here we go. So after you go through this grind, where I'm going to sit at the, like 1,700 to 1,999 number, I'm going to sit at those numbers for maybe 2 to 4 weeks. And I'm going to do it publicly, so it's going to be embarrassing, frustrating, difficult. I'm going to go to the Orange Theory gym in Conroe, Texas on Friday morning at 9 o'clock in the morning. I wish 5 o'clock in the morning to do something difficult, to remind myself that life is difficult and that's not an excuse for underperforming. And then after that grind, there's this beautiful upward movement. And it never happens in the way that you think it's going to happen, meaning most of us think about success as a straight 45-degree angled trajectory. This is a beautiful image there. So we think of success as this, hey, listen, I learned a system. System's going to be profitable. It's going to be a 45-degree angle upward. I'm going to be the happiest person in the world. This is no big deal. This is going to be easy. This is going to be fun. And gosh, it's the greatest thing ever. And so then we realize that there's all this other, this grinding out of success or failure and sideways movement that accompanies everything. And I think the key during all of this time is to have, so, and we've talked about this before, have a firm vision, clear vision of success, that you know the destination. So the destination has been prearranged. You can see it already, and you spend time visualizing it. I didn't do a lot of this lately, but after this live session, I'm going to go sit down, close my eyes, and spend a couple of minutes, daydreaming is great, but not daydreaming, just reminding myself that I know and I can see the account tick over from 1,999 into 2,000. That's number one. So know the destination, but be flexible about the strategy, tactics, especially tactics. Your overall strategy will probably remain the same, but your individual tactics might change. For example, let's take a look at the account, and it's hard to see because the text is so small, but thankfully we can broadcast in HD and you can watch it later. So I traded the British pound today, Bank of England, blah, blah, blah. And those trades are not doing well. Those trades are pretty much garbage right now. And I could have chosen to trade something that would have been more easily profitable. Like I could have traded a contract that was already in the money or close to in the money, or something along those lines. I could have chosen something that had, wow, those are pretty cheap. Holy moly, that's pretty cheap. So I'm pretty comfortable with bearish movement today, but I took these contracts that were way down here because I don't want to risk very much when I take these trades. So I risk 10 to make 90 or things like that. But I could have possibly, right now, for example, risk 30 to make 70 with a really good risk to reward ratio and maybe a higher probability of success. And I have that choice right now. I can make that choice right now. I can choose to trade those right now. And maybe be flexible about my methodology, my tactic. I can say, all right, maybe what I need to do here is rethink how much I'm willing to pay or risk for a particular trade, and then maybe I'll do a lot better. The Australian dollar, Japanese yen, for example, is one that I'm very interested in today. It's been going up in one single direction, and it has started to print these reversal exhaustion bars, and it's probably also printing Knoxville divergence. But I don't care. I'm not even going to show that Knoxville divergence. I'll just pull up that Australian dollar and like choose maybe a strike price that is much closer to where we are right now, like 80.95. 80.80. You know, risk, that's absolutely magnificent. Risk 10 to make 89? What the? Risk 10 to make 89. Am I like missing something absolutely amazing about this? I don't think I am. So that's something that I like. I could also, for example, oh, you're not, yeah, you're looking at the screen. I actually showed you the screen. That's pretty amazing. I'm very proud of myself. I'm not hearing any comments from anybody, so it's possible that none of you can even hear or see anything that I'm doing right now, which would be absolutely hilarious. But I could also, for example, just pull up the old Australian dollar Japanese yen here, because I know I want to trade it, and I could just trade this here. I don't want to put a stop loss in yet. 80.95. Let's just delete that stop loss. I'll manage that a little bit later. But let's just take a trade right now. So I'll show you this trade right here. I'll just expand it. All right, so my Mexican peso trade's already getting a lot better. And I think my Australian dollar Japanese yen position is going to be magnificent and beautiful and lovely. I don't know if any of that is helpful. I don't know if you care about this topic, but I care deeply about this topic because I think this is where the rubber hits the road. This is the true conversation that we don't have often enough, is that people show YouTube videos and I've done this, and show off the successes, but they don't talk about the grind, and they don't talk about the difficulty, and they don't talk about the sideways times where I've gone like 3 weeks now trying to break that $2,000 mark. So it took me about a month to get from $500 to $1,999. And now I'm just like grinding out this sideways movement and not going anywhere. And I think that's the real conversation. That's where we all just give up. It's where most people give up, and that's where you got to grind things out. And that's why, and I'm starting to think about doing a brand new program or something at the end of the year, but I'm trying to think about something I can do where we like do something really hard once a month, and then something a little bit hard once a day, something we don't want to do or whatever. And I think that to a certain degree, doing that helps you get through the grind. Like if you've done something really difficult, right, that you are able to, if you do something really difficult, you're able to put everything into perspective. So when I was 20 and I was a missionary in Italy, and I was in the coldest city that you could be in my area, and it was snowing and it was winter, and I was no longer in Naples, and I loved the pizza in Naples, and I missed Mama Traiani, and I just missed all my friends, and I missed Paolo and Marina, and I missed all my friends there, and I missed the pizza. Did I mention that I missed the pizza in Naples? And I was up in this really cold city and didn't know anybody, and everybody hated us and whatever else. I started getting up in the morning with my missionary companion, and we would run a couple of miles around this castle. And I'll show you a picture of this castle. So I'll show you a photo of this thing. This thing is just, it's just ridiculous. So here's the, you know, there's a bunch of photos of it. But we would run, wow, this brings back memories. We would run around this castle, and there's a path around the castle. Oh, here, this is a great photo of it. And there's this path. You can actually run in a circle around this castle. It's just giant. And then, you know, ran back to the apartment or whatever. And I remember when I would finish that run, I would just feel like death, just feel sick to my stomach. And James Coles, who used to run with me on that route, he was fine. And in the very last 30 or 40 feet of that run, we would sprint at the very end. And there was always something more that I had in me than I thought I had. And I think it's the same is true in life, that if I don't do something difficult once a month, which I haven't really done lately, but if I don't, then everything else gets taken out of perspective. And so things like grinding through all the way through the $2,000 mark in my trading account feels like this big thing, when in reality, compared to running a few miles or whatever it is that's really difficult for me, it's not really that big of a deal. And so doing something difficult puts things into perspective. Like I said, I don't know if any of you care about this conversation. I do. It's like my favorite conversation. Thanks for being here. I love you all. I'll be back tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Central Time. Don't forget, subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave a comment. I love you all. Bye for now, everybody.